get to Eddie's top five, we want to talk about Eddie's honorable mentions, man. And I just wanted to go through this as we highlight the performances that showcase his unmatched range, ambition, and cultural impact. From Trading Places to Dolemite Is My Name. All right. Now, from the streetwise hustle of Billy Ray Valentine to the heartfelt reinvention of Rudy Ray Moore, these honorable mention roles help define Murphy's evolution from SNL standout to a global box office icon. Now, whether slipping into multiple outrageous characters or anchoring a socially satirical story, Murphy repeatedly proved that comedy can be a tool for transformation. Now, Charles, these honorable mentions may not crack the top five, but they're unforgettable moments of genius that shaped an entire generation of fans and comedians. And Charles, before we get started, man, let me just also go back to something that you hit me with right before we got on the air. So, a point of clarification so it doesn't look like, I'm not being consistent because, I always tease Charles. Charles is the guy that kind of watches this stuff. So, Murphy, as you know, has had several movies in his career where he's played multiple characters. You think Coming to America, you think Nutty Professor, you think, just, you know what I'm talking about. He's played multiple characters in films. So I told Charles, and Charles pointed it out, and he's right, that if we're going to put one of those characters that, like one of those movies where he plays multiple characters, the lead character is the top five character, not the secondary characters, which
Right.
possibly could be supporting or honorary. But those characters, like, a character that he played in Coming to America, the Jewish barber, wouldn't be a top five performance. It would be an honorable mention if it was good enough, but not top five. So anything else, Charles? Any other strict rules or anything else you saw that we should clean up even before we get started?
No, I think that's the main one. We're good with that.
All right, Charles, I'm gonna let you hit these honorable mentions. You got the list in front of you, man. Go ahead on and do what you
All
do.
right. All right, our first now some people may be appalled by this, but our first honorable mention is Billy Ray Valentine in Trading Places 1983. A lot of people may say, "Oh, this should be top five," but we're talking about Eddie Murphy here. So,
Well,
yeah,
but let's stop for a second. So Billy Ray Valentine, funny, was one
yeah.
of his earliest films, Trading Places. Why? What do you think about Billy Ray Valentine?
Well, I think it's appropriate for it to be as an honorable mention because he's not the lead character in the movie. He's in a supporting role. I mean, he's Billy Ray is the foil to Dan Aykroyd's character in the film, and he's part of more of a troupe than he is carrying the film on his own. And
Right.
so, yeah, I think it's safe to say that he could be an honorable mention versus when we get into the top five, you'll see that he's more the lead character, the lead actor in the following films that we'll talk about.
So let me do the next one, man. So the next one, and this one was tough. Um, Billy, not you did Billy Ray Valentine. This is Reggie Hammond from 48 Hours. Now, there's some discussion around this one, man. I thought this one was tough for me because this is a groundbreaking role that up until that point, I don't think we'd ever seen a black character with
Yeah.
these sorts of lines and that kind of attitude and swagger. You go back to the famous scene where he's in the bar and when he pulls the guy over and the guy tells him like, what right do you have? And he says, I'm a
I'm your
in
worst
with a
nightmare.
badge. Yeah, I'm in with a badge, which gives me permission to kick your effing A anytime I want to. And I remember in the theater, everybody was like, whoa, Eddie Murphy, man, was electric. Now, 48 Hours, I think this is his first film. Am I correct? This is his
Uh,
debut film.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, I mean, to your point, this is Eddie Murphy. And on somebody else's list, this is absolutely a game changer, right? It is a game changer performance, man. But then there's more. his career than this, man. So, what do you think about his performance in 48 Hours?
Again, like you said, this was the jump off for Eddie Murphy as an actor. When he did this role, just like you said, a lot of people were shocked by his ability to carry his presence on the screen, and it defined him as a superstar right from the jump. So it's amazing. And yet again, and he's playing off of Nick Nolte, and he's doing things with him. It was the is how buddy comedies evolved. So there's a lot of groundbreaking stuff to it, but it's still not the top. It's still not the top for
All
me.
right, man. You go ahead and do the next one, man.
I'm going to go to Quick from Harlem Nights. Um, Murphy's ambitious directorial debut, together with Richard Pryor and Red Fox in this Prohibition era style comedy. It's a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of quotable lines, and quick. He was the lead, but again, he's part of an ensemble cast, and he stands up well to Richard Pryor and Red Fox in the film. But again, he's excellent in the film, but he's still part of a troupe in here. He's not exactly the lead, the sole lead in this film. So that's why I think Quick makes a honorable mention. Now, again, yeah, he is the lead character in the film, but he has a whole lot of support with Richard Pryor and Red Fox. And a lot of people go to see this movie because of the collaboration of all those people, not just because it's Eddie Murphy's film.
I thought he was good in this film. I didn't think he was great in this film. To your point, I thought the selling point of the film was the fact that it was the first time that we'd ever seen Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Eddie Murphy all on screen together, and these gangsters. I didn't think the story was that great. I didn't think the villain was that great. I mean, okay. I mean, I laughed, but it's not one of Murphy's best, which for me, I'm comfortable seeing it on this list as an honorable mention. Now, the next one, and this one is also interesting. Let's talk about his Marcus Graham from Boomerang, playing the charming ad exec who finally meets his romantic match. Murphy flipped his persona from brash comic to suave leading man. And of course, the film became a cultural landmark celebrated for its fashion, its groundbreaking depiction of Black professionals, and of course, that killer soundtrack. Charles, this one is tough too, but I think part of what I see is that the film and all the elements are better than Murphy is. Murphy is not what elevates Boomerang to iconic status, but he is a part of what it is. How do you feel about Boomerang?
The reason why I let you read Marcus Graham from Boomerang is because I would have had it in my top five
Mm.
because of the fact again that this is a role he hadn't played before. He was this timid guy, and I mean he was suave and debonair, but he was also kind of insecure, and he really was a different character in this film than we had ever seen before. And that this was more of a drama than a comedy, and it was really inspiring to see Eddie Murphy stretch himself in this kind of a role. And so, yeah, again, he's in an ensemble cast, but it was really about him and how he reacted to, just being in love. And it was a romantic comedy, and I enjoyed it. And I think it showed, like I said, a different side of Murphy than we had seen before.
So let me be real transparent right now. Eddie Murphy made his chops as a comedian, right? And these
Yeah.
comic films, right? And we'll talk about this a little later when we get to the top five. Now, when you look at what's in the top five, there's only so many dramas or serious roles that we're gonna put over some of the comedic stuff that he did, right? And there's at least one other dramatic performance which is coming up that I think trumps what he's done in this film. So again, stuff being as an honorable mention, we only can pick five. So if you can only pick five, there's going to be a lot of stuff that, as they would say, hits the cutting room floor. That I agree with you, Charles. I'm not mad. I thought he was great at Boomerang too, but I'm like, there's five other things that I just think are a smidge better. And speaking
Okay.
of that, and this stays in um, this area of honorable mention. Now, this is just a personal favorite for me. His Thomas Jefferson Johnson, the name you know, and the distinguished gentleman. I thought it was funny, man. It was, we look at it as one of his underrated performances, where he plays a fast talking con man who scams his way into Congress only to discover, Charles, a conscience once he sees how the political game really works. And ironically, in the times that we're living in, the satire that this film presented is still relevant, and Murphy makes the transformation believable and funny. Talk about the distinguished gentleman.
The distinguished gentleman we was George Santos before George Santos came around. I mean, really, that's what it was. And
Right.
you're absolutely correct. A lot of people just did not see this, did not accept how excellent and satirical this film was. And only through time now, where we are now, if we can look back and see it, that we say, wow, that was really a good performance and really smart and really insightful to the political machine that we have that happens in government nowadays. So yeah, I really enjoyed this performance, and I'm glad it made the list, even as an honorable mention.
Right. Now this next one, boy, this was like pulling teeth, man. It was between this and something else. And now I'm gonna let you lead off, and then I have commentary, man. What was the next honorable mention on this list?
The next honorable mention for us is Rudy Ray Moore in 2019's Dolemite Is My Name. Murphy
Hmm.
returned to the big screen with this affectionate biopic of underground icon Rudy Ray Moore, who we know who was Dolemite. And you're right. This movie was.
He didn't he get an Oscar nomination for this?
No, he was actually snubbed. He did not get an Oscar nomination for Dolomite.
He was
And a
great in
lot
this
of people
movie.
felt really badly about the fact that he didn't get that nomination. But the performance is right at 5B maybe on the list for me. I'm like it could have really cracked, but we have another lip performance that is similar to it.
So see what I'm saying? So that's why you now watch this. Marcus Graham, Rudy Ray Moore.
I mean,
See where I'm going with this?
right.
All right, man. Well, we got a couple more in the honorable mention category, man. This one actually, we can just go over this real quick. Randy Watson and the others, like everybody that Eddie Murphy played in Coming to America that wasn't Prince Hakeem. But and that just goes to show you if you get an honorable mention out of that. I was telling somebody the story last night that people forget how funny Coming to America was. I had this thing at least three separate times, Charles, on VHS, and I kept lending it out to people, and I would never get it back. I had to keep on buying it. It easily for me, if we ever did a list of the funniest movies Eddie Murphy ever did, this would probably
Yeah.
be at the top of the heap for me. Everything about this film just all works, man. He has a stellar supporting cast. He has, him and Arsenio, their chemistry is good. The story is sweet and earnest. This whole Zamunda, it's so good that the fact that they tried to make a part two 30 years later, and of course it didn't work. Of course it didn't work. Like how do you scale Everest and beat Everest? You can't do it. So yeah, man. So that one finished as an honorable mention. And Charles, what's the last one? And this one's tough too, because this is a,
Well,
a great underrated performance.
Well, this is a dual role that he played, Kit Ramsey and Jiff Ramsey in Bowfinger, where it was really cool to see Murphy do this nerdy character that in the film, and then Jiff was like real soft and mild, and Kit was like wild. So it was really, I mean, again, the range that I think this was the first time we saw him do. Well, he did multiple characters in Coming to America, but this way he did two definitive characters that were looked the same. He just played them differently, and it was just really genius. And the pairing of him with Steve Martin in that movie was, I think, was really incredible too. So, again, it's the collaboration in that effect as well. So, Bowfinger's a great movie.
All right, Charles. So those are all the honorable mentions. And before somebody starts at home, well, where's Norbit? We're going to talk about Norbit in a second
No,
because
we're not. Please,
no, no,
let's
no, no.
not.
I'm only saying this from the standpoint that I'm still angry that they released Norbit during the Academy Award season when Eddie Murphy should have won an Oscar, and people blame Norbit. It's one of the reasons why he didn't. So Norbit's not on the list. Vampire in Brooklyn's not on the list. The Golden Child's not on the list. Um, Pluto Nash is going to be on another list when we make the worst Eddie Murphy movies of all time. That's probably number one. So yeah, there's a bunch of movies that didn't make the list, Charles. So